Assalamu alaikum my dear colleagues. Today we will discuss about overview of Java. Here we will discuss all of elements of Java without going in much detail because we will see detail of every topic in further lectures and when we make practical of those discussions. Those programs we will make, so we will define every aspect of a program there, but here we will discuss about object oriented programming because Java is structured on object oriented model. Means we program Java in object oriented structure. There are two paradigms of creating programs. One is process oriented model and other one is object oriented model. Process oriented approach characterizes a program as a series of linear steps, that is only code, and the process oriented model can be thought as code acting on data. Means a process oriented model program will be follow the linear steps top to bottom, and its code will be work on data but not data work on code. Code means functions and data means their variables. And object oriented programming organizes a program around its data, that is objects, and set of well defined interfaces to that data. Means an object and their functions and interfaces. We'll go in much in detail of interfaces and functions in upcoming sections, but here we are just understand that interfaces are just like subclasses and data or variables, and objects are means like objects which manage the interfaces and data. And object oriented program can be characterized as data controlling access to code. Means our variables and other elements will work on functions, and functions will be used by objects. Let's go further. There are some keywords which used in main three keywords used in object oriented model, and we will define here these three keywords and what it means. First keywords or essential element of object oriented model is abstraction. Abstraction is essential element of object oriented programming. Is abstraction. Human manages complexity through the abstraction. Abstraction means hiding something. Abstraction allows us to think as a whole to a complex working of object. Means when we are using the objects or functions, we know only just how to use it, but we didn't need to know about how this function is operating inside. From its inner working, we just know how to use it, but we don't to know how to control it or how to create it for just using as a user. But a programmer knows how to use it and how to control it, that function. By abstraction, a Java allows us to hide the working and inside the code of program, just represent the whole one object to a program, so user can easily use it but cannot change it. You can think car, a real world example, as an object, and their functions will be the inner functions will braking, accelerating, and other functions which work inside car, but we use them but we do not know how to create them and how they are working from inside. So this is like abstraction. We use car, but we don't to need to know how to create it for just using it. A powerful way to manage abstraction is through the use of hierarchical classification. This allows you to layer the semantics of the complex systems, breaking them into the more manageable pieces. By abstraction, we create some parts of a complex program and break them into the functions so we can use them or we can create them easily and understand them easily. Then next element of object oriented is encapsulation. Encapsulation is a mechanism that binds together code and data, it manipulates and keeps both safe from outside interfaces and misuse. Encapsulation we will go in much detail in further lectures, but here encapsulate just think as a locker where we keep our code, not code but data like variables and other elements which used by functions. So we an outsider user can use that function but cannot change that. One way to think about encapsulation is a protective wrapper that prevents the code and data from being arbitrarily accessed by the other code defined outside the wrapper. Means we can think encapsulation as a wrapper. Means we we have a wrapper and something inside the wrapper, just as a code inside a function. We are using that code inside the wrapper, but it will not affected by the things which is running outside the wrapper. The power of encapsulated code is that everyone knows how to access it and thus cannot use it regardless the implementation detail and without fear of unaccepted side effects. Means an encapsulated code of function can be used by everyone without the fear, because we knows it is encapsulated and it will not be affected by the outside side effects. In Java, the basis of encapsulation is the class. Its first class is the element which encapsulate some source of the data. A class defines a structure and behavior, data and code that will be shared by the set of objects. Firstly, no class is just a blueprint of objects. We know it has no any physical structure because it just use blueprint structure of the class or object, which object has a physical reality because object can use the data and code of the class defined in blueprint. Class structure and behavior defined by code and data. Means a class will have variables and functions which will define the how class will work or operate or control. Each object of a given class contains a structure and behavior defined by the class. We understand that class is a blueprint of object, so behavior of object will be dependent on class, how class is programmed, as if it was stamped out by mold in a shape of the class, and objects are instances of the class. So data defined by the class are referred as a member variables or instance variables. I tell you before that data as variables are variables. So data defined means variables inside a class will be known as member variables or instance variables. The code that operates on the data, referred as the member methods, are just methods. Means methods are functions. Functions in other languages C and C++, but Java used methods for the functions in functions. So methods define and the class will be members of that class or just methods. Methods define how the member variables can be used. That means that the behavior and interfaces of a class are defined by the methods that operates on its instance data. Means we will define the functionality of the class in our methods, because method of member methods of a class will use the instance variables, and we will define how member variables will be used by the methods. Purpose of a class is to encapsulate complexity. There are mechanisms for hiding the complexity of the implementation inside the class. Each method or variable is class may be marked private or public. There are some keywords which define the complexity or hide and show or encapsulation of any class, which there are some public, private, protected, and some others we will go in much detail in further lectures, but here are some I'm defining in short form it. The public interface of a class represents everything that external user of the class need to know or may know. Means public, any method or variable defined as public will be can be used worldwide. Means we define variables and methods as public, which we want to show to the world or users, and the private methods and data can only be accessed by the code that is a member of that class. Therefore, any other code that is not a member of that class cannot access the private methods or variables. A private methods, we define methods and data as private because to those data which we didn't want to show to our users. Means a user of our program cannot access to the private and private methods or data, but just member methods of the class will use them. Don't be confused by public and private here, because we will get in much detail in further lectures, but here I am going just overview of the object oriented structured model. Here this picture is showing the encapsulation of object oriented model. This is a class, and it has this a class, and these are private methods. These shows private methods, and these are public instance variables, which normally not recommended, but methods can be public. These are public methods. These are just public methods. Sorry, these are public methods. Means we can not use this private methods outside of the class, but we can use these public methods of that class outside of the class, and they are private instant variables, and they are public inside variables. So public instant will not recommend for class structure. So because we can use this outside the class, but object oriented model didn't allow this or didn't recommend this, because Java works is we know earlier that Java is a more secure language, so it's recommended to make Java instant variables as private or protected, so they can be just used by the member methods of the class, not outsiders. Let's go further. There's an inheritance. Inheritance is a process by which one object acquires the properties of another object. Means in another an object-oriented model. This concept's also very important, by which we can get the parent qualities of object to another object, or one class properties can get by this properties to child class. However, by use of the inheritance, an object need only define those qualities that makes it unique with its class. It can be inherit its general attributes from the parent. Thus, it is inheritance mechanism that makes it possible for one object to be a specific instance of the more general case. Means we can, if we are creating two classes, one is a parent and other one is a child, we will get our general characters from the parent, and and we will define just those characters to the child class. Those make it different or unique from the parent. We can not make all general we will not add all general characters to the child class because they are already present in parent. So we'll just add unique characters from their parent to the child class. If you wanted to describe a more specific class of animal, such as mammals, they would have more specific attributes such as type of teeth, mammary glands. This is known as subclass of animal, where animals are referred to the mammals superclass. This analogy shows you animal is a parent, and it will have general qualities or general characteristics of the all parents, all animals. But there are two types of animals, one are mammals and other are not. Then we will create two subclasses of animal, which will mammals and not mammal. That some mammal will get the animal qualities or animal characters from the animal class, and it will have their own characters like teeth, mammary glands, and so on. So mammals animal are referred to the mammals superclass. Since mammals are simply more precisely specified animals, they inherit all the attributes from the animals. Deeply inherited subclass inherits all the attributes from the each of its ancestors in the class hierarchy. Here I am going to discuss animal analogy for the inheritance. You can see this parent class, and it has two subclasses, mammal and reptiles. Both animals have general characters of the all animals, and mammal and reptiles will get the characters of animals from the animal class, and both classes, mammals and reptiles, have their own characters. So animal class will be superclass for the both mammal and parent, and reptiles are parent class, and mammal and reptiles will be child class of the animal classes. Then mammal class also have two child classes, canine and feline. So they will get all the characteristics of the mammals from the mammal class, and canine and feline classes also have some other characteristics which make them unique from canine to feline class. But canine and feline classes can use the characteristics of the superclass animal superclass, because their characters are inside any mammal class, and mammal class have characters have access to the canine and feline class. But canine and feline cannot They mammal class is a superclasses of the canine and feline. They can use the animal characteristics, animal class characteristics, but animal class cannot use the characteristic of the mammal class or canine and feline class because they work top to bottom. This process is not invertible, means child class characteristics cannot be used by the parent class, and they have also two subclasses, and canine class will be superclass of the domesticius and lopus, and domesticius have also two subclasses, retriever and poodle. So this will be superclass for these, and retriever also have two subclasses, labrador and golden. This is animal analogy. This is analogy more description like animals. Animal class have characters age, sex and weight, and there we create a mammal class. Mammal class get those characters because mammals also have sex, weight and age, and they we have the gestation period and memory glands, and there then we create a means mammals get these attributes age, sex and weight from the animal class, and they have some unique characters that memory glands and gestation period from their own characters, so they make mammals and animal class uniqueness. Then we create another class just canine, and canine get the characters of the age, sex and weight from the animal class, and they get the characteristics of the mammal class, and they also have some characters which is something not visible to me, but I can read this tail length from the mammal, which make it different from the mammals to canine. And canine also have another child class which is domesticated, and it's get the characters of animal. This class Dimensius, maybe it has the characters of the canine, mammals and animals, all of these which make it different from, and it has also two other characteristics which make it unique from the canine. And we have another class which is retriever. Retriever get the characteristics of the Dimentitious class, and now retriever had the all access to the characteristics of the Dimentitious, canine, mammal and animal, and it has some unique characteristics like I can't read from here, so leave it, just understand what I am saying. And another class which has some characteristics which make it unique from the other classes, and this class also have the access to the retriever class characteristics, demonstrate characteristics, canine class characteristics, mammal class characteristics and animal class characteristics. But this class characteristics cannot be used by animal class. Mammal class characteristics cannot be used by animal class, but last class can use characteristics of all of upper five classes, five classes, but this class characteristics cannot be used by the animal class, mammal class, canine, domesticates and retriever. So because this analogy works in up to down but not in revert order. I hope you understand. There another term, polymorphism, which is normally used in object oriented. Polymorphism is a Greek word which means many forms. Is a feature that allows one interface to be used for the general class of actions. Means we can have one object, but it can have the many shapes. We don't want to create multiple objects for the same type of the actions. They can only by change their working and name, but they can use the one class one class for the many forms. The concept of polymorphism is often expressed by the phrase one interface, multiple methods. Interface is a subclass and multiple methods. One interface can have multiple methods. Means one object can look at this, and a class have more than one methods or multiple methods, 10 methods, 100 methods, but we are creating object of that class and only use two methods that can be work as a object of that class, and we are creating another object and it is using the three methods of that class. Means both objects are using the one class, but they are using different methods of that class, so they are different from each other. I hope you are understanding the one class and many shapes. This helps reduce complexity by allowing the same interface to be used by the specific general class of actions. It is compile step to select the specific action, that is method it applies to each situation. Means we will use method overriding in further sections, where we will discuss it much in detail, how compile select the method on specify their parameters, and here objects will be determined how they are and what functions they are using of that class. Thank you. Let's go further. There is a object abstraction objects. There's a user and this is the class. Abstraction can only use methods without information of method, how method is using data. Means a user can use the methods of that class without knowing the data objects or method working inside that class, but I can use these methods without knowing how they are working inside the class. Thank you. Thanks for this. I hope you understand, and understand. If you have any query, you can comment me below, and if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe my channel and hit bell icon so you can get the notification of my next lecture, which will be Java buzzwords, where we will define all the aspects which make a Java language from different from the other languages, and how this language is more fun loving to learn and easy to learn, and how this language is best for those who want to challenge themselves in programming or software engineering world. So hope you are fine, and bye bye for this, and please keep watching, and thank you for this. Thank you for watching, and this is the end of lecture number 5 of Android Software Engineers. Thank you.